Alright, I don't have much time, so Kung Fu Panda 4. I already have a video on the second movie, so go check that video out if you're so inclined, or if you just want more thoughts on some of the topics I briefly touch on in this video. Anyway, my thoughts on Kung Fu Panda 4 can be summed up by this. Schaefer Ellis was right. I have not agreed with the internet's reviews of a movie more, probably in my entire life. So starting off with the character writing, Poe is the same as always, a fun, lovable little Jack Black man-child that has so much laid-back charm that I'm surprised he hasn't fallen over yet. Zen, I think that's how you say your name, Zen, is kind of annoying, but I never really hated Aquafina. I just don't really like her. I really like the Chameleon's voice actor, but don't really like her character. I know none of these are really news to anyone that's been on the internet and has seen at least one review of this movie. So I'm not going to do my normal review where I look at the overarching flaws and criticisms and good parts and all of the important things. Instead, I'm just going to do a review of more like the little things that I personally notice in the movie and less of the thought-provoking analysis of the film. Okay, so first off, and a lot of other people have pointed this out, but this movie's plot is just a much worse version of the second film's plot, and I could not agree with that more. Other than like Ping and Lee telling Poe the emotional resolution, like telling him the message of the film rather than having him come to it on his own, this is really the same exact story. And that's another thing. Like even though I loved
This is some bad audio.
even though I loved Ping and Lee's scenes, they could have been removed from the film and nothing would change, just filler, even though that was probably my favorite part of the movie. So apparently the chameleon is too small to do kung fu, so instead she just becomes a sorceress. Something that comes out of absolute nowhere, considering we've never seen anyone become a sorcerer or sorceress before in this entire universe. I'm sure probably at some point in the Netflix shows that someone's become like a magic user, but the magic in the actual movies and in this film kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, what makes this magic any different from the magic that is just kind of associated with Kung Fu in the previous films? The Ferdinand reference was cute. Okay, so Tai Lung being redeemed is stupid, and it doesn't make sense at all, and, it's really dumb. It kind of goes against his character arc in the first film. But I'm going to argue Shen being redeemed is even stupider. Shen murdered literally every single member of the panda species he could, and even after he was defeated by Poe, he didn't die. For those of you misremembering, he didn't die immediately. Poe gave him the chance to, surrender. Instead, Shen kept trying to attack him, and that's what causes a piece of this boat to fall on top of him and kill him. So I don't think that Shen would just decide to be a better person when he sees Poe defeat a villain that's supposedly
Just.
not as powerful as he was, despite the fact that the chameleon is infinitely less menacing than anyone else in this franchise. So I like the cool stylized animation and flourishes. It was interesting to see. I would have liked something a little closer to like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but if we can't have that, this is still pretty cool. And I think the action stays pretty close to what the previous films established. It is a little lackluster, and it doesn't really have that same impact that the previous films had because they had such a connection to martial arts specifically. This one is kind of just impressive action. It's not really impressive action because it's martial arts. The reigning emotional fight between Zen and Poe was actually pretty effective for me. It wasn't anything amazing, and Zen's character arc in general was really stupid and annoying, but I do think it was interesting to see Poe grapple with the fact that maybe he shouldn't trust some people blindly. Okay, that's about it. I know this isn't the kind of review that you guys are used to or that I normally do, but I hope a faster pace, more detail focused and less full movie, big picture focused review might have some kind of merit to it. Anyway, Kung Fu Panda 4. Overall, it's an okay watch. I agree almost entirely with what the internet has been saying about the film, which is weird considering my review of Wish. Go watch that if you want. Anyway, 6 out of 10. Not great, but a pretty decent watch that has some great stylized animation and somewhat effective character moments. Anyway, that's my review. You could leave now. Go watch something productive like how to recover from gamer subs addiction. Yes, that was the joke that I was gonna end the video on. I'm sorry.